You look like your grandma on the dance floor at a wedding. You must have photos of Arne Slot just dong out. What's he been doing? 56? I think they're the slowest 3 humans on Earth. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to The Golden Sky. I'm Tom. Today it is the player ratings for a win. A Liverpool win away at Sunderland. We have won 1-0. Was it vintage? Absolutely not. But, you know, talk about scraping the barrel, with it would. We'll take anything we can get at the minute. So a win, we are buzzing. Absolutely buzzing tonight to win a game. And I'm going to celebrate for once in my life. I'm going to just allow myself to be happy about a Liverpool win. It's a rare occasion these days. These are the player ratings, so we're going to get into every player who played in the game. Let's get them on the board right now. Here they are. Like I said, guys, was it a vintage performance? Absolutely not. Does that matter at this point in this season? Not at all. If we get points on the board, that's all that matters, because we're not very good at doing that. But before we start the ratings, as always, let's start here with the Muckery index. Here it is. And tonight, there wasn't much Muckery, but we've got a lot to talk about, you know, for other things, other activities that were happening in the game, other people involved in the game there that I've got things I want to say stuff about. So we'll do this whilst we do the Muckery index. So, I mean, what are we putting as the Muckery index? Well, I think it's pretty obvious tonight. It's not actually going to be about the refs. The number one thing in that game that can only be described as Muckery is quite simple for me. If you caught a glimpse of them, I feel sorry for you. But Arne, Slots, Kex, they were. Did you see him? Is he having the laugh? Is he taking the piss? They were the skinniest Kex I've ever seen in my life. I think he'd accidentally picked up a child's size. They were so tight to his body. If he didn't have that puffer on, you'd have been able to see an outline of unspeakable things. A whole host of shapes and sizes down there. Let me tell you, it's prime Muckery from Arne Slot. The skinniest pair of Kex you've ever seen in your life. Tracky bottoms with a big giant puffer. And then where he's put his bomber jacket. It looked like he was going out the other day on the weekend for a meal after the game. Tonight, God knows where he'd been. That's Muckery for the Muckery index today. But there's lots more. Let's talk about commentary for a second. I always like to, you know, as soon as you turn on the TV and you hear Fletch and Ali these days, you watch these videos, you've got to know that I'm going to bring them up. They were on top form tonight, but not only that, they'd brought along another man with them, everyone's favourite person, Joe Cole, had joined them on commentary tonight. And you know what? To be fair to Joe Cole, at some points tonight, he actually said some relatively okay things, okay? When he wasn't banging on about Dan Ballard, that was, all he did all night long was talk about how amazing Dan Ballard was. Oh my God, you'd think this guy was the best header of the ball there's ever been in football. Let Sunderland have got Andre the Giant at the back post, for them. It's ridiculous. All they did all game. Oh, you've got to get this away from Ballard. You've got to get this away from Ballard. Flipping heck. What is he? The human equivalent of Mount Everest or something? It was a joke. All they did was talk about Dan Ballard all game long. And when they weren't doing that, they were just having a chat. It's less like commentary these days. We basically just listen to the Ali McCoist, Darren Fletcher and Joe Cole podcast for 90 minutes there. And I don't know about you, but I didn't willingly tune into that podcast, but I got it anyway. They just chat. If you were blind and watched that game, you wouldn't know what was going on. You wouldn't have a clue. But you'd know all about God knows what. Ali just at one point went so Scottish I couldn't understand a single thing he said. Now look, they enjoy the game. That's a good part of their commentary. They actually sound like they're enjoying it. But when I've got Fletch telling me that we look better because Robbo plays at left back instead of Kirkes, we look better defensively, I want to just throttle him. So here's a list of people who can fuck off after tonight's game. Ali, Darren and Joe. Commentary trios as a whole. That's on the list. The fella who at half time gave Ali McCoist his phone and just asked him to take a selfie on it and then gave it him back. Oh, that's good. You've now got a selfie of just Ali McCoist and not even a picture with you. You're on the list as well, mate. The fella who shouted down the commentary mic that in a Geordie accent, which I won't attempt to try and do, that Salah. Go on, I'll give it a go. You get so much protection from from the, I don't know what he said, something like that. He's so much protection. How's that? I think it's pretty bad, but I've given it a whirl though, so you've got to appreciate it. He's on the list. The referee in general, he didn't do anything that bad tonight, but he's just always on the list. Dan Ballard, you're on the list, mate. At one point tonight, Dan Ballard tried to rip Van Dijk's neck off and then proceeded to shout at the referee, Who made the foul? You did, mate. You absolute big thick idiot. Run back to centre-back, please, you ogre. Honestly, when you grab Van Dijk by the neck and choke slammed him, that's a foul, mate. Dan Ballard, honestly. Send him off. Brian Brobby as well, spent the whole game lying on the ground. And the people bringing on the stretcher. I mean, could they have walked any slower? If they'd have possibly tried. Endo is that, we'll get to it in a second, but Endo is dead, and you've got these lot strolling on the pitch like they're having a little walk in the park. All the time in the world. Like watching Muckery trying to run through the middle. Anyway. Right, we've vented out there, but I assure you, I actually am happy tonight. I'm quite excited. I don't know if you can feel the atmosphere here. I'm a bit, I'm hyper. We've won a game. It's like giving a kid a pack of Skittles when they're not allowed sweets usually. They've nommed them all. The E numbers have gone mental in the brain, and now they're bouncing off the walls. That's a bit like me right now. This is the last video I'll make, by the way, before I go blonde. Any of the videos after this, I'm going to have bleached blonde hair, so stay tuned. My mum bought me some special shampoo and conditioner in preparation. That's how serious this has gotten. Anyway, should we do some ratings? Yes, we should. Alisson in the goal. What do you even say? We still can't build up. I saw that. I hope if you've watched any of my tactics videos, you look out for this now in games. We can't build up, and I feel so bad for Alisson because he gets the ball, and our midfielders just look at him like he's an alien. They're just like, what's he doing on the ball? And then he just belts it long over time. Did I enjoy the way we played today? Not really. Not at all. Especially after we scored the goal. We dropped right off again. And I hated it. But, like I said at the start of the video, we've scraped the barrel so thin, we've hit wood at this point. So, I'll take anything I can get. And if it means Alisson kicks the ball long for 90 minutes and we win the game, you know what? I'll take that for the rest of the season. He's growing his hair more and more and more, and as it gets wet and looks quite long and the beard comes through, he is looking more and more like someone you might see in the Bible, like just knocking around the pictures of all them fellas from back in the day. He looks like someone who'd be pictured at the Last Supper or something. I'm sure if you look at the photo of them all at the Last Supper, he's got to be the Alisson Becker 2026. Clean sheet, don't really know how. 6. In fact, I do know how. Sunderland was shite. Let's be so frank here. They were shite, yeah? They didn't do nothing. Naff all game long. And all I had to hear the whole game long was, oh my God, aren't Sunderland the best thing since sliced bread? They had beach balls knocking around. Whichever one of them brought them in. I tell you what, if I found the fella who brought in that beach ball, I'd deflate it, shove it right down his throat and ask him how you like that, you bastard. Honestly. And then I'd inflate it again whilst it's in his body somehow. I'd lob the pump in down his mouth. Pump it up. I was like that beach ball. Don't be messing around with them. God. I've learned from that. 16 years ago I watched that in a pub. I was about 5. I was 7 years old when I watched Darren Bent score for beach ball. I was in a pub watching Endo. Sorry guys. We've gone weird already today. Endo, right. I said to myself before the game started, when I saw Endo was at right back, I said the number one thing I'm not doing tonight, no matter what happens, is getting mad at Endo because he's playing right back. He's not a right back, and he also never plays, and he can't run. And I've got no reason to get mad at Endo because for whilst he was on the pitch, he did his absolute best, as you'd always expect from him and always get from him as well. Yes, he lacked a bit of quality in the final third. Yes, he had a couple of opportunities to cross the ball in where he maybe put a poor cross in. That shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody who watches football because he's a holding midfielder, right? So, and albeit a pretty average holding midfielder who's entering the latter stages of his career. So, that's what we've got. But one thing about Endo, he tackles like mad. He tries his bloody hardest. He wins headers. And the number one thing that I appreciate about Endo is whatever kit we're in, he matches his gum shield. to the kit, and that is worth its weight in gold. If you're going to match, if you're going to take the time to pick out a gum shield to play footy with, which is hilarious in itself, but then colour coordinate it with your kit, that's phenomenal. He did, however, have the brightest pair of boots on you've ever seen in your life. At least they weren't yellow, they were red, but they were so bright, it was like they were radioactive or something like that. Like he dipped them in uranium before the game had started, and that's why he can tackle so hard, because he's got radioactive boots on, they make him fly or something. But they didn't stop him from doing origami with his own body. I mean, this fella, he clears that cross, and he cleared it. Let's make that clear. He puts it out for a corner. It's good defending, but in the process, he literally does human origami with his own legs. His ankle, his knee, I think he's broke basically every bone and ligament that's in the lower half of his left leg. And by some miracle, by some absolute miracle, I don't know how on earth this happened, he rose up like, I don't even know. He resurrected himself. He had no treatment, right? None at all. He just got up. He could barely move. He's like, I'll defend this corner. No worries. No worries. Let me stand there and defend this corner. Of course, the ball comes in, and he immediately competes for a header, right? He falls over because at this point, his leg has fallen off, right? He's got no leg on anymore. He's walking around with 1.5 legs on, like his name's Prue Leaf, okay? And then, whilst he's on the floor, the ball comes near him and he thinks, shite, I've got to go and head this. And he jumps up again and heads it. The mad bastard. What's he doing? He's hobbling around out there for a good minute and a half while Liverpool piss around trying to clear the ball. He looked like your grandma on the dance floor at a wedding. Just, you know what I'm talking about? Just bent over, no hips, just dancing like that with the back hunched over, you know, down on the ground. You can't see me on the podcast right now. I'm trying with the top half of my body to imitate my grandma with no hips having a dance at a wedding. That's what I'm trying to do. That was Endo, except instead of having no hips, he had no leg on, like Prue Leaf, who wears wooden legs, if anyone doesn't know that. And then the ball went out of play, and he just proceeded to die. He just lay down. He had gas and air. He's probably out for the season. Let's be so real. It looked really bad. I don't know how he managed to play on, to be honest. It was amazing. Probably out for the season. I hope he's okay. I hope he manages to make the World Cup. If nothing else, it's a massive shame. But apparently playing right back for Liverpool is a complete curse. And I reckon that my grandma is not far off getting called up, to be honest. And she literally has no hips. So I reckon she's not far off a call up. Endo, you were absolutely sound tonight and you blew your knee out for the mighty Reds. So I'm giving you a 7. What about that? And your ankle. Right, Ibu. He was fucking ace tonight. Ace. Weirdest thing I've ever seen from their striker, by the way, from Brobby tonight, okay? Mr. Blobby up front. He's knocking around like a madman, okay? Wherever he went, he was just pulling Ibu's shirt like he's walking a dog, and he's having to pull it along. He's pulling his shirt, and then, unbelievably, he'd fall over, and he'd start screaming for the ref for a free kick. Is he having a laugh, this guy? Is he having a laugh? He's pulling Ibu's shirt. Let me make this clear. Then he'd fall over, and then he'd be like, referee. Well, mate, you need to give your head a wobble, because that's not how football works. At one point tonight, he's trying to spin Ibu in the box. He pulls his shirt off. Ibu makes a great tackle, and then another block, by the way. Brilliant play from Konate. Saved the goal. He wants a penalty. All Sunderland are going mad. It's a penalty. No, it's not a penalty, lads. And then Joe Cole, who I said he's had a few good things tonight. Well, he said his fair share of bad ones as well. He goes, oh, it's a good tackle, but I tell you, he said something along the lines of it's a risky last-ditch tackle. And you're thinking, well, yeah, Joe, they're going to score otherwise, mate. What do you want him to do? Just not do it because it's risky. He's got to kind of make that tackle, mate. Not like you in your first game for Liverpool getting a red card. Never forgiven you for that, Joe. Ever. In my life. I never will. That was Hodgson. We're back in the Hodgson era, apparently. But Konate tonight was ace. He gets an 8. He was brilliant. Didn't put a foot wrong. Van Dijk. Next to him. Does the business. There from the corner. I like I said, at the start, I had to listen for the whole game. Every single time there was a ball that went out of play, they got that camera and they were like, where the hell is Dan Ballard? I need to put the camera on him right now. Okay, you'd think this guy was the 8th wonder of the world or something like that, walking into the box, the tallest man in history. What's that guy? Was he called Wandering Waldo or something like that? the fellow who was massive back in the day. That's who they thought Dan Ballard was. Well, did you see Dan Ballard win one header tonight? Because I don't think I did. Except from the one that he set Wirtz up for, that Wirtz should have scored. Well, I saw Van Dijk win a header. So put the camera on him. His beautiful, beautiful face. His hair looking pristine as always. There's never been a hair out of place on Van Dijk's head. He knocked that one in. Little header at the corner. We finally got one right. We looked quite dangerous from corners all night. Posh Lallana has got us worked out. We're basically Arsenal now. We don't ever concede from corners and we score them all the time. Posh Lallana's come in. He's revolutionised the club. Van Dijk heads it in. The lad at the back post for Sunderland, he's on the post. He's just stood there buffering. I don't know what happened to him. He's just buffering at the back post there. Buffering. Oh Christ, the ball's here. Let me try and head it. It's too late. He heads it in his own net. And then we had 10 minutes of Ali and Fletch going, oh, well, I think that's Van Dijk's goal. Oh, I don't care. I do not care. We don't have to talk about it for 10 minutes, guys. Just let's move on. It'll get given to Van Dijk, probably. And it should, because he's willed us to victory there. That's what you want from your captain. It wasn't vintage, like I said, but a good performance. They did give him man of the match. I thought that was a bit dodgy, to be honest with you. That said, I thought he was good as well. Obviously gets the goal. One quick thing about set pieces. Sunderland, first 20 seconds there, first 5 minutes of the game it carried on into. Every time the ball went out, we had 20 seconds or longer of towel breaks. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Ban it from the league. It should be banned. It's free time wasting. The refs don't tell you to hurry up. They're like, oh, don't tell him to hurry up. Can you not see him? He's drying the ball, actually. Liverpool, don't tell him to hurry up. He's not time wasting. He's drying the ball. Well, mate, honestly, it makes me properly cross. Van Dijk, 8. All right, Robbo. I'll give him his credit. I was thinking tonight when I saw that team come out and I saw Endo and Robbo at fullback, I thought, oh my giddy aunt. Oh my giddy aunt. You could quite... Do you reckon if Robbo and Endo had a race, you can throw McAllister in this as well, do you reckon if Robbo, McAllister and Endo had a race, they would ever finish? Or do you think they'd just get sucked into some sort of like never-ending, limitless limbo time loop race where they just run forever and ever and ever, and it just never ends, like in Scooby-Doo when we just keep running past the same thing because the cartoon drawer didn't draw any more walls, and we just keep running and running and running and running and running. Because I think they're the slowest 3 humans on Earth. But that said, Robbo was good tonight, and I won't spend ages on him because I've spent ages on loads of other players. I thought he was good. We don't need to compare him to Kirkes every time they play. We really don't. Robbo's getting older. So, you kind of need to sign players. We also only have one left back if we don't have Robbo. So, you're seeing how that situation has got us at right back now. So, having 2 left backs is not that unusual, everybody. And Robbo played well. Thought he put some good crosses in, which was a miracle because he hasn't put a good cross in since 1995. He played some nice interplay in the first half. I thought he used the ball well. He didn't get beat, but Sunderland barely had an attack. So for me, it's a good performance. I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I'm going to give him a 7. All right, McAllister. McAllister, Hermano. You were up and down. Like, tonight was a better McAllister performance than what we've seen a lot in the season. It was a little bit better, but there's still moments where he does stuff and you're like, McAllister, mate, que pasa? What's up with you, brother? Why are you doing this to me? Like, the passes he does, tries to play it out wide and just passes it straight to Sunderland. One time he tried to go for a dribble in the middle of the pitch with like 10 minutes to go. Well, what are you doing that for? You've never been able to dribble, ever. And now you can't run. So don't even try. Gave the ball straight to them. But those points aside, let's talk about the positives. Tonight, he made some great tackles in the middle. Really appreciated that. Competed well. I actually thought that we actually won the midfield battle today. Now, maybe if they'd have had Xhaka, that would have been a bit harder. But I actually thought we won the midfield battle, which was crucial to us actually getting a foothold in the game and really dominating it up until we scored. McAllister was excellent in doing that, got on the ball, used it well. Doesn't show enough from the goalkeeper, but I do think that's a coaching issue rather than a McAllister thing, to be honest, because it's just weird how we build up. But a solid performance. So for me, it's a 7 if I can actually do it. There we go, 7. And Gravenberch, very similar as well to Maka, just maybe slightly, I don't want to say less involved or slightly less good, but I just didn't, for me, I didn't personally notice him as much. I'm going to try that again because I don't even know if what I just said was English. Personally, I didn't notice him as much. There we go, we got that sentence out properly. Now, I think he was fine, like I said, competed in there. He did do 2 of the worst headers I've ever seen in my life from a corner. I noticed this for free. Like, the ball gets headed out, and he's on the edge of the box. He's got a free header. I don't know how he managed to do this. The first one, it just, like, skewed off his head and went straight into the air. Like the ball had 0 gravity on it, and it just floated up. And then he got a second bite of a cherry, or the apple. What do you have a second bite of? Got to be an apple. Cherry's not big enough to have 2 bites of. If you're having 2 bites of a cherry, then I've got to question the way you eat cherries. You must have the world's smallest mouth. Fun fact, I can actually tie the stalk of a cherry with my tongue. I know it's getting a bit hot. If anyone's getting a bit hot and bothered listening to this, just pause the video, have a little minute. Anyway, Gravenberch, 6. I think 6 is fair. But 6 will absolutely not be fair to Florian goddamn Wirtz. That's his full name, by the way. Florian Scheisenkopfen. Is that words? I don't know. I don't know any German apart from Scheisse. And I've just added a German-sounding phrase on the end there. Wirtz was, let me say an English phrase, bloody brilliant tonight is what he was, Florian Wirtz. And he was clearly the best player on the pitch. If anyone watched that game and didn't notice him being the best player on the pitch, I'm looking at you, Fletch, Ali, and Joe Cole. Then you're blind. I don't know what you're seeing. Like the 3 blind mice up there in the bloody commentary booth doing that. It's criminal that he didn't get out of the match. He was clearly the best player, ran the game. The way he dictates tempo from the number 10 position is unbelievable. He was unlucky not to score. Lovely little touch and left foot onto the post. Gerrard at half-time said it reminded him of Zidane, and I got tingly because Zidane is my favourite footballer of all time. So if Florian Wirtz is doing Zidane-like things from Stevie G, I mean, that's orgasmic levels of fun for Tommy Forsch right there. But yeah, I mean, Wirtz was excellent, I thought. Second half as well, there was a lovely little moment where he gives the ball to Gakpo a couple of times. He's like, come on, Gakpo, you take on your man. And Gakpo just kept doing nothing and giving it straight back to Wirtz. So Wirtz was like, right, I'll show you. Took 2 men on, played the ball into Gravenberch, lovely pass, gets the ball back. Had a shot, it got blocked, and I think it went out for a corner. But it was really good play from Wirtz again. He just shows everybody how to play. He's the only one who shows for the ball. He's the only one who makes anything happen. It goes dead slow. And then Wirtz gets the ball, and all of a sudden, it goes fast. He moves the ball on into the next phase all the time. He looks so calm on the ball. Yes, he probably should have had the goal when Ballard headed it up, and he definitely shat himself, thinking that he was going to get smashed by the goalkeeper. Okay, that was pretty bad, but it is what it is. I'll let him off. There was one bit where we were under a bit of pressure in the middle. He just flicked the ball up in the air, flicked it over someone's head, gave it straight to Salah, who passed it straight to them. So that kind of encapsulates our team, but Wirtz was excellent. Not sure about his Barnet, and I know I'm not one to comment, really, because I'm going to have the world's dodgiest Barnet maybe ever from tomorrow onwards. But Wirtz, I don't really know what he's doing. It's like a monk, but with the middle bit filled in. Where's precious flow? Like, look after it, lad. 9. He was ace. If he scores, he gets a 10, by the way, because he was pretty faultless tonight. Salah was not faultless, though, and I really don't. I'm at my wit's end with Salah at the minute. And the worrying part is, I don't even think he's just out of form. Like, this is such an extended period, and he like, I'm being deadly serious when I say this. He literally can't do anything right now. Watching him and Gakpo on the wing is like asking me which one of my hands I'd rather have chopped off. Like, it's the same. They're both as painful as one another. He doesn't do anything. He can't dribble past a player, like, at all. He gives it away, or doesn't even give it away. Every pass he makes just gets blocked, like, instantly. Insta-block. Yes, he puts in the the ball for the corner. He comes away with yet another assist. I don't know how this keeps happening with Salah. He's now level on assists all time for Liverpool with Steven Gerrard at number 1. So he's going to probably get, well, he will get that record. I'm sure he'll get one more assist for us. So, yeah, another one. It shows the legacy of the player, but at the minute, what we're seeing is a shadow of the Salah that we've watched for a long time. So he was really poor tonight. Didn't really offer anything. I'm giving him a 4. He's lucky not to get worse, but he won the game. And at times he did keep hold of the ball. Not really through like passing or anything like that, but he battled. Like there was the bit at the end where he like held off Reynoldo, who fouled him all night long, by the way. And he was another one who was just fouling Salah like mad. And then he'd be like, oh, "You've given a foul? Oh my God, how have you given a foul? Because you're manhandling him, lad. Are you thick?" Anyway, Ekitike. I've thought about Ekitike this week more than I've ever thought about anybody else because of my hair. I still can't believe it's happening. I know I've talked about it all week. It's all I've thought of. Tomorrow is Judgment Day. I will be going blonde tomorrow. You'll see it likely. Well, it'll probably be Friday's video, I imagine. Because it's happening at night tomorrow, so I've not got time really to do a lot else. But let's talk about his performance. I think he struggled a little bit tonight. I think he looked a bit tired. I think like this would have been the game where if we had a competent squad, or if Isak's legs hadn't broken off, we might have seen Ekitike on the bench having a bit of a rest, because I do think he is getting overplayed at the minute. And like, okay, sure, he's good enough to start every game, and we want him to be doing that because he's one of our best players. And I thought in the first half he was pretty good. Like his link-up was not bad, but he definitely got more tired. And this would have been the type of game where you may be playing for half an hour at the end, and he's a bit fresher. I do think he struggled a little bit because of that, especially in the second half. The socks were down by the ankles. That's a telltale sign. And he, again, missed a really good chance with his head. He had one with his foot, like after a sort of a weird like block sort of happened, and it came to him in the second half, like near the goal, and he hit it over. But they didn't show a replay of it, so I couldn't quite see what had happened. But yeah, he looked knackered. He came off. We started to sit off, and you can tell when we're doing that because Ekitike just runs all the way back into his own half when they've got the ball and lets them run in. This is obviously a tactical thing, but yeah, he was done at the end. He was finished. So. Yeah, I'm gonna give him 5. I think he was a little bit off the boil tonight. A little bit off the boil. But is Gakpo ever on the boil? I don't know. When was last time Gakpo was on the boil? I don't know. The boiler's broke with Gakpo wherever he is. The only explanation for Gakpo playing this much is that he must have Slot's nudes. He must have them. He must have them. He must have photos of Arne Slot just dong out. Absolute bad dong all over the place. That's the only way he can be playing this much. But he does. He plays every week. He did get brought off today. He started the game. Do you know what? I'll give him his credit, Gakpo. He started the game and he went down the line a couple of times. I was like, holy shit, what am I seeing here? Gakpo's running down the line. He put a few crosses in. They didn't come to much, but sure. I was like thinking, wow, this is promising. And then he single-handedly broke up 4 attacks or so on his own. There was one of them. We had a great counter-attack going. Of course, Brobby was on the floor. Or no, it wasn't Brobby, actually. I think it was Diarra was on the floor, pretending he was hurt. We had a great chance. Wirtz is in on the left. Give it to him. And he takes a really heavy touch and messes it up. And you're like, Gakpo, all he does all game, he stands on the left wing, just commits war crimes all game long. That's what he's doing on the wing. It's a bloody joke. Yes, he got brought off. He wasn't very good. But what can I say? Was he as bad as Salah or was he worse? That's the only question, really, you've got to ask yourself. Was he worse than Salah? I think he was about the same. I'm giving him a 4 as well. Okay, subs. Gomez. He came on when Endo folded himself in half like a deck chair. He did all right, didn't he? Lovely cushion header to the goalkeeper. That was the best part of the last 20 minutes of the game, was Gomez's cushioned header. And that sums it up, really. What else can you say about Gomez? I mean, I'm glad to see he's back after he got clattered by Alisson and both his lungs fell out his chest. He had to have them surgically repaired and put back in. He'll get injured soon again, no doubt about that. He's now our, like, this is incredible. Our right back's injured, and then our other right back's injured. So that's our, you know, whichever one you want to look at, Frimpong or Bradley, our backup right back's injured. Then our backup right back's injured, which is, well, until today, which was Gomez. Our backup right back, which is Szoboszlai, is suspended. And then our backup right back, which is Endo, he's probably out for the season now, looking at that injury. So luckily, we've got Gomez back. He's now one of only like 5 players who can play that position who's left. And he falls apart every second Sunday. So 6. No, 7 because of the header. It was worth a bonus point. Jones did a bit of skill in the middle, which got Ali McCoy very excited indeed. He was like losing his mind over it. He didn't notice that he overhit the little trick he did. He overhit it, and Gravenberch had to stretch for it, and we gave the ball away. He also had a shot that he should have scored. Wirtz put it on a plate for him. He blazed it over the bar. And then the commentator said, he's not scored in 56 games. 56! I didn't know we were quite at that level. What's he been doing? 56! Honestly, I had a Manx sat next to me at work today who told me all day long about the United Strand. All day long. That was all I heard. He showed me videos of him. He was talking to me about him all day. Have you seen this? Look at his reaction when the goal went in. Look at his reaction when the VAR happened. He still can't cut his hair. Do you know when the next time he's going to cut his hair is? Blah, 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 blah. All day long. I swear to God, if you'd have put that fella up front, the United Strand, or the lad sat next to me at work who talked to me about the United Strand all day long, they could score for Liverpool if they played 56 games. They could score once. I promise you they could. What's he been doing? 6. No, 5. 5. Fucking hell. Right, there we go. Chiesa. He came on, he made 1 interception. And then he got absolutely quarterback sacked in the middle of the pitch. And if you don't know what that means, one of their lads, let me put it in English terms, rugby tackled him onto the floor. And the ref went, foul to Sunderland. Ah, oh, brilliant, ref. Brilliant. Well, that's you. If you ever come to Italy, mate, you're not getting any free pasta for Chiesa's gaff, are you? Because that was an absolute joke of a decision. Luckily, it didn't matter. That was at the last minute. We tried to send a free kick into Dan Ballard, a.k.a. Uncle Knobhead at the back post. And he chokeslammed Van Dijk. So, 6 for Chiesa. And that, ladies and gents, is, in fact, the player ratings. Let's get everybody off the board. Guys, I really do hope you did enjoy today's player ratings. If you did, please do smash that like button. We're trying to get to 30 likes on every video. So if we can hit that like target again, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for doing so if you have clicked it already. We're also trying to get to 500 subscribers. So anyone who is new around here and did enjoy today, please do click that subscribe button and help me get to that 500 subscriber mark. Podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews, follow the show, all that good stuff. You guys already know the drill by now. Right. I do kind of want to look at this game in a tactics video, but like I said, tomorrow I am getting my hair dyed, so might not have the time. But at the very least, I'll be back on Friday with a video. It will likely be a preview. It might be a tactics video. I don't know, but there will be a video and I will have bleach blonde hair in it. So everybody stay tuned. I hope you all enjoy that. You did this to me, so thank you once again. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Liverpool got 3 points. Happy days. Speak to you all soon.